Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. After the NBA's draft lottery, this is all people could talk about, and for good reason. But what a lot of people have overlooked is in that very same lottery, there was a team who was gifted the opportunity to change the future of their franchise in a way that could change the entire NBA. The San Antonio Spurs have a guy who could go down as the greatest player in NBA history.
Here's Wemby. Hopefully he wins it this year. Oh, the spin of the one-handed!
And in a year where he was already one of the best 5 to 10 players in the league, they just got gifted the second overall pick in a draft that is considered to be incredibly strong. And fortunately for San Antonio, and unfortunately for every other team in the NBA, the possibilities of what the Spurs could do this offseason are endless.
Some star player, I predict, is going to look at what's going on in San Antonio and say, I want to be there. Go put me next to that guy.
And we're already starting to see the rumors of this happening heating up, with Shams reporting that there is a mutual interest between Kevin Durant and San Antonio. We've heard about the possibility of them trading for Giannis, which just give me a second to process that. We could witness Victor Wembanyama and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same team. Actually, yeah, I'm not even going to process that, so let's forget about that, because it's already hard enough trying to watch one alien, let alone two on the same team. And then you have the other option, which could be more straightforward, but maybe the best of all, involving the draft and potentially drafting Dylan Harper.
Harper splits the double!
This right here is why the league should be terrified of the Spurs, because I don't see a bad option for San Antonio to take. You could argue Kevin Durant doesn't fit the timeline, but adding KD alongside De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, I think there is a timeline to winning a championship next season. And well, Giannis, do I need to say any more? Giannis and Wemby? But then there's Dylan Harper, who you could add to a team that have the back-to-back Rookie of the Year winners, and despite Wemby being an All-NBA player and probably an MVP candidate next season, he is still 21, and we could see the same kind of team building that we've seen in OKC, leading to one of the best seasons in NBA history. And if you want a glimpse of what the Spurs could be getting if they drafted Dylan Harper, how about here, where he's being guarded at half court. He goes behind his back initially, the screen then comes for him, so he splits the second defender, euros around the third, and finishes. This is what Dylan Harper can do. At 6'6", his footwork, his balance, his finishing ability, his downhill driving ability. Think of Cade Cunningham, think of James Harden. He's someone who blends the craftiness of a smaller guard with the frame of a big guard, but still knows how to use his size, if that makes sense. Honestly, there's even similarities between him and Stephon Castle, but unlike Castle, Harper is more polished as a creator. He has more juice as a ball handler and is shown more as a playmaker. Now, maybe that's just because he had more opportunity than Castle did at UConn, and we saw as Castle got more reps in the second half of the year, he looked fantastic and showed some real flashes as an all-star.
Here's Castle in transition! Castle, Castle, welcome home!
But regardless, the similarities are there. However, there is also one concern with drafting Dylan Harper, because as great as he is, and the potential is sky high. I mean, you guys can see those clips. This is not a regular NBA prospect. This is a star level prospect. But just like De'Aaron Fox, and just like Stephon Castle, he has a big question mark over his three-point shooting. And with three guys who ideally want the ball in their hands most of the time, and haven't been consistent shooters, you have to wonder if it could work. Now, what I haven't heard people mention much about the Spurs is the fourth option that they have. Guys, this is it. The NBA Finals are here, and that leaves us with the best teams from each conference remaining. And Kalshi gives you the opportunity to place your predictions on which of those teams will reign supreme. And there is no better place than Kalshi, who facilitated over $2 billion worth of trades, alongside over 1 million users, with Kalshi being legal in all 50 states. And you can choose to bet on any number of options, from the winner of Game 1 won, to the winner of the finals MVP, to the winner of the series, and much more. And as you can see, the odds are heavily in the favor of OKC, meaning the upset potential of Indiana could provide great value, or you could lock in the team who has been the best in the NBA all year long. So put your sports and entertainment knowledge to the test and sign up using my link, and anyone who trades $100 will receive $10 free credits. Not Kevin Durant, not Giannis, not Dylan Harper, but something in between involving the Brooklyn Nets and Cam Johnson. I know you nearly just clicked off the video. This guy is about to tell me instead of trading for 2 Hall of Famers and top 10 players in the league, or drafting a potential future All-Star, they would trade for Cam Johnson. Yeah, I am about to tell you that. But it's obviously more than just Cam Johnson. For the 2nd overall pick, this would be a trade where you are hedging your bets, so to speak. Potentially a 3-for-1 deal, where you trade that pick for the 8th pick, the 26th pick, another future first, or maybe a different player from the Nets, and Cam, sending out Keldon or Harrison Barnes to match the salary. Now, there is one reason this could make sense for the Spurs, and it's not about Wemby. It's about the other guys. I just mentioned him briefly, but what everyone seems to forget is San Antonio have 2 Rookie of the Year winners on their roster, and if they believe Stephon Castle could be a future All-Star, and they believe De'Aaron Fox will be the All-Star he can be alongside Wemby, it would be hard to make room for Dylan Harper. Instead, you could get a guy in Cam Johnson, who is one of the best shooters in the league, who will fit on any team in the league and immediately make them better, and not just that, but also get a chance to draft 1 or 2 prospects that could also add to this team. Maybe the likes of Con Knappel, who also provides elite shooting that the Spurs need on this roster. When you consider 3 of their current core pieces all have shooting concerns, it's not the kind of move that would be popular with a lot of people, and it is always a risk to trade away a potential star. But like I said, this is more about what the Spurs think of both Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. And you could even think of another guy in New Orleans like Trey Murphy, who could provide those similar traits at a younger age that might be even more appealing. All of this is to say, the Spurs have options at every age bracket possible, and as long as they don't overpay, I don't see too many bad options for them to choose for. Now, getting back to this team as a whole, I almost feel like everyone has forgot De'Aaron Fox is a Spur. Is it just me, or did everyone else forget? Well, there might have been a reason for that, which was his and the Spurs' decision to get surgery with about a month left in the season. And yes, some would call it tanking, and let's be honest, if the Spurs were in a position to fight for the playoffs, he wouldn't have had that surgery, but it's what we saw OKC do with Shea a couple of seasons, and look how that turned out. And it's not like this was a fake injury. This was an injury he suffered during training camp in October and played through the entire season with. And this is the kind of news you want to hear, because despite still having a pretty solid season, it wasn't the best season of De'Aaron's career, and he particularly struggled after being traded to the Spurs, which isn't surprising considering he had spent so long playing in Sacramento, but a full offseason, getting to know the tendencies of every player on the team. Obviously none more important than Wemby, we could see the best version of De'Aaron we have ever seen. I don't think that's hyperbolic when you consider he has never played with someone as good as Victor Wembanyama, and hopefully with an extended rest, this is the healthiest he has been in some time, getting a full offseason to recover. And next year, regardless of what decision the Spurs make, Wemby will have more help around him than ever before, and the league should be terrified as a result. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, consider subscribing for more content like this. Dropping a like would be cool. Have a great day.